What's up guys, Shockwave640 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Cybertron, I think it was Ultra Class Jetfire. Now, this figure right here has an extremely special place in my heart for Transformers, as Cybertron Jetfire specifically was the first Transformer I actually legitimately liked and thought was really, really cool. I did not have this toy when I was a kid. Back then, $20 was a lot of money, so I was never able to get him. But one of my cousins did have him, and I played with it and completely non-stop, and I was finally able to find one for a pretty decent price on eBay. Almost complete. He was just missing his Cyberplanet key, which is just a basic Earth key anyways, I believe, which got like 3 or 4 of these things, so that was easy to solve. And he's missing one of his cannons, but I didn't really care about either of those anyways. But getting our lovely little baby Peach off of him. And now I have been gone for a really long time, mainly just because I was running out of things that I wanted to review. A majority of the stuff that I had was just things like my Gundam model kits, which people don't ever watch those reviews anyways, so I just stopped doing those altogether for a while now anyways. I'll probably do one every once in a while just because. And I just was running out of things to review, but now I have a hell of a lot of new things to review. If you saw my post on Instagram, which is just, I think it's just Shockwave640, but without the C. You would have seen this entire review table here completely filled up with a majority of all the new figures that I got that I want to review. Some of them are just, some of the figures I have, they're just too complex or there's too much going on with them to be able to review it without editing or anything like that, and I don't feel like editing anything because, you know me, I don't edit my videos. I will eventually, but just not anytime soon. But before we get into our friend Jetfire here, we're going to go ahead and do a small voting poll, because we haven't done one of these in a really, really long time, because I am going to get back into regular reviews. There will definitely be a review at least every Monday and Tuesday, because that's when I'm off work, for the most part. There'll probably be one like every Friday or something like that. I'm not sure entirely, but there will be a review today, which is Tuesday, and then probably later on Tuesday again, or on Wednesday, whenever this is uploaded. It'll be the day that this is uploaded, and either later that day or the next day. But before we get into Jetfire, we're going to do like a combiner series next with some old school G1 combiners. Now I have 3 of these guys, have all the members and all their combined parts to bring into this. So without further ado, let's introduce them. Starting with my favorite combiner of all time. I was finally able to get my hands on a G1 Bruticus, who is probably not gonna stand because he is in poor condition. Please do not fall over. Let me raise the camera up just a bit so we can actually see him. I'm gonna move him to his side. We've got G1 Bruticus here. Managed to pick up the full set with all the members and all the combined parts. They don't come with any other weapons or anything, but oh well. For about $90 shipped on eBay, so that was really cool. Couldn't pass that up. And for roughly also about the same price, I got the Piranha reissue. I've got him combined up how I usually like to combine him if he would stand. What are you doing, Piranha? What's going on here? You caught? Yeah, you're caught. There we go. I don't know what was going on with Scalor, but he didn't want to stand. So there we got Piranha right there. And adjusting the camera just a bit more. Now we have Devastator. G1 old school Devastator. Whoa, my lord, that scared me. Who doesn't like to stand because Scrapper is being an idiot. But there we have them. So these will be the next reviews. So we can choose to see either any of these guys reviewed in the next couple of videos in the next series or so. So the voting poll, as usual, will be little button right up there. So you could choose G1 Bruticus, G1 Piranacon, or G1 Devastator. The way that it will go is it will be 3 separate videos, roughly, featuring 2 of each member, except for Bruticus. Onslaught will get his own time, but for everybody else it will be 2 members of random choice, really. Probably just be leg, arm, something like that. But either way, that's how I will handle that. So let's get these guys out of the way. Let's get ready for the main event. Piranacon. The Devastator, by the way, is not an actual vintage G1 Devastator. Finding one of those in that condition is probably impossible unless you want to spend millions of dollars. Really, Bruticus. Oh no, it is in such a bad condition. It's we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But just don't fall over. He will probably fall over. But that's just the reissue that they just started putting into Walmart's. He was like $74 with tax and everything. So that was totally a steal. I also got Starscream and Hot Rod as well. So those are actually down over here on the floor. Actually got Hot Rod within arm's distance, just kind of standing here, missing his wheel and everything. So we've got that. That's cool. Those will definitely be fun to review. Starscream I don't really care for, but you know, it's G1, so you gotta like it. But anyways, let's get back into the actual toy we all came to see, Jetfire. So I'm gonna set him off to the side. I don't have any vehicle mode comparisons anywhere near me, but let's grab a Overlord jet mode. He's pretty recent toy right here. So you can see about how big Jetfire is to a recent leader-sized figure, or half of one. So you can see Jetfire is a big jet. You can see he's gigantic. Ultra class figures are basically, I want to say that they were a leader. They're roughly leader-sized. And robot mode Jetfire is definitely more of a Voyager scale, but roughly Voyager leader around there. But the rest of the size comparisons are more for robot mode, so you can see about how big he is. But let's get in here and take a look at the details, because he's got a lot of them. I believe this is the Takara version of him. That's what the listing said on eBay anyways, but you know, they're probably wrong, but who knows. So coming along here, you can see the nice looking cockpit, and you got nice silver going along the wings and everything. He's got a crazy wingspan too. So just coming along the sides, you can see a bunch of details. It's going to be kind of hard to see because the wings are in the way, but you get all the... Oh, just move the wing out of the way. So you can see all this really, really nice looking detail. Nice green, nice paint applications. This was back whenever they painted everything on a toy. So, see here on the back, all the translucent red. There was electronics in here, in this little box right here. I don't remember if the seller said that these worked anymore. I don't really care enough to try it because it's just a generic shooting noise, so it's not like it really matters, but I'll show how all that works in just a second. Coming to the intakes, you can see twin turbines. These are just his hands, but you know, they tried to make it look like this right here, which, yeah, it's good enough. He's a very heavy figure too, like all the electronics here in the back, and my arm is tired from holding him up with one hand, but so you can see here's his little cannon right here. It just looks kind of like a machine gun or missile launcher, but it really is just a missile launcher. You just press the little button and fires the missile very weakly, and it fell behind the table. But you know, you get the point. It's just a very basic missile launcher. Just plugs in to the bottom of the wing with those 2 ports and these 2 little posts. We're gonna set that off to the side for now. And retrieve said missile that was launched off into space, and it just standard trigger missile plugs back in. We're good to go. So set that off to the side, and now we're going to show his battle mode, which this was actually used in the cartoon, so it is official. What you're going to do is you're just going to grab this entire chunk right back here. You're going to untab it. It's just a little post right there that just clips in right there, and this is where the battery compartment was, and there's a little button for the sound effects. You just unscrew those 2, and you pull it off, and I don't know what batteries it used. I never bothered to even look, but it's probably watch batteries or something like that, or maybe, yeah, it's probably just watch batteries. But you just want to bring this all the way forward, I believe you do want to angle these fins here up like that. Bring it flat against the top there. Set him down. You want to grab your Earth key. This is not the key he came with. This is just a random Cyber Earth key. Same as every other one. It's just this does not have the right code on the back, but the code doesn't matter either way. So it's pretty pointless. But if you want to know what the code did, just go on TF Wiki and just look up Cybertron Jetfire. But anyways, you just want to plug it into this little port right here with the red arrow. It's pretty obvious where the keys went for these Cybertron figures. And when you do this, you will get, let's get a good angle on this, you'll get that action. I don't know if you people saw it because it was so fast, but basically the cannon springs up and these guns fold out, activating his super powerful cannon that was there the entire time, but he never knew about it until he got his key. Because that's the way most of these gimmicks worked. But it's a strange looking battle mode. I don't know exactly how he's still able to fly now. He's lost all aerodynamic abilities that he had, but he did use it, although I believe whenever he used it, it was probably more like this, now that I think about it. But I don't really remember. It was something like that. You can kind of angle this up and down. It doesn't rotate or anything like that. And so yeah, it's a Cybertron gimmick. It works the same way most of them do, some kind of spring out missiles or weapons. So just pulling out the key, it will release the key. There we go. Pulling out the key, setting that off to the side. So we're gonna bring the fins out real quick. You want to push the cannons in and collapse that up to deactivate the gimmick. Clip that back into place. And I did forget, he does have these two massive rolling wheels. Just show off the bottom there real quick. And then show off the top, just so you guys can see what it looks like. Nice Autobot logo. He does have visible head syndrome. It's literally just right there, but that is accurate. And if you wanted to get silly about it, you could flip that up, grab his little ears, pull his head up, and you could totally do this. Which I feel like he probably did this in the show once, but I don't really remember. It's been a really long time since I've seen the show. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for his jet modes. Now we're going to get into transforming him. It's very, very basic transformation. It's Transformer Cybertron. Literally nothing was complex. I think the most complex Transformer was probably some Scout class or Deluxe class or maybe Megatron. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, you just want to bring these wings up to get them out of the way. Just like that. You're going to come in here into these big chunks right here. Those, well actually you probably want to detach this section first to unlock everything. You're just going to bring the legs down, and they do plug in a couple places. You can see there's these grooves right there that post will plug into. And same thing on this side, you got these little tabs that will plug in right there. It doesn't matter which way you have the waist facing, it will work the exact same if the legs are facing forwards or backwards, because both legs have the exact same ports and slots right there, and they both have the little clip. Sorry, you couldn't see that. They'll both have the little clip right there, because the clip will also plug in right there. So you just want to kind of get them like this. You want to straighten out these sections and kind of just bring his legs down. You want to, sorry, I keep doing that. You want to rotate his waist so you have the screw holes facing towards the back, and so that his legs are facing towards the front. And I guess you could do a plane if you really wanted to. You could just pull that down. There you go, plane. It's a thing you can do if you really wanted to do it. So we're just gonna bring all this back up to get it all out of the way. You want to come down in here and flip out his feet. Come to the back, flip down his heels, which are exactly the same as his feet. Kind of just angle his legs a little bit. And now you're going to bring his legs down. You're going to grab the nose cone, you're going to bend it. And you're going to bend this entire section right here at this big hinge. You're going to bend that all the way down. And this clip right here, this clip in that post will clip on right to this little section, this very obscure looking section right there where his crotch is. So you're going to angle that down And when you plug that on, you will get some automorph. If I can get that to line up properly. Oh, already did it. There you go. Now you will get. There you go. You couldn't even see it. Sorry, I'm trying to do this properly, but it doesn't want to work. There you go. You get these little missile racks that pop out of the sides of his torso. So that is pretty cool. I do like that little bit of armor. I want to straighten out his waist. Now you want to come to his back. You want to fold these tail fins right here. You want to fold them back as far as they will go. You want to bring his arms down. You want to untab this engine. Bring down the little red part. Slide this forward. It's kind of getting stuck. There you go. You want to slide all of that forward, and as you bend his elbow, or as you straighten out his elbow, to rip off his arm as well. It is just pegged on with these little mushroom pegs. Just plug that back in. It'll kind of extend his fist. You can pull that out the rest of the way. Kind of give his arm a little bit of a bend. If you want to, you can fold that back up, which is usually what I do. Oh, my arms are sore because he's heavy. Do the same with this other side. Just bring that out. Collapse that. Unfold this. Straighten out his arms. You can grab his fist and pull it out. Give his arm one click of a bend there, if you so choose. You kind of want to angle these up just a little bit like that, so you have a little bit more clearance to get this backpack as flat as you can. Just like that. Rotate him back to the front and then flatten these down as far as they will go. You want to kind of get him standing. You want to flip out this little panel right here. Grab his ears again. Bring up his head. Close that down. And there we have Cybertron Jetfire, who's not wanting to cooperate with me. And there we have Cybertron Jetfire in his robot mode. And I love the way his robot mode looks. A lot of people don't really care for it because he's got a little bit of a head, a little tiny head, and he's got this gargantuan gap going right through his body. But, you know, I like it. The main reason I liked him in the show was because I liked his character and I liked his face. I don't know why. Here's his head sculpt, which you can see if the camera will focus. There we go. Here you can see his head sculpt, very Gundam-like, which I do quite like it. I think a majority of the head, or at least the front part of the head, is done with the clear red plastic and then just painted over with the silver and the white and the yellow or green, whatever the color that is. You can see he does kind of have eyes underneath the visor there, which is a really cool touch. Very, very like at least the face and the little intakes there on his the sides of his head. Very similar to G1 Skyfire. Just about where the similarities end right there, except for having the little cannons kind of sticking out of his back. Other than that, the similarities pretty much end right there. But so yeah, very, very cool head. I like the crest, how it kind of looks like feathers. He's got like this very Gundam-esque like Trion 3 cannon there on his forehead. Which I don't think that's what it was in the show, but you know, that's what it looks like. So bringing him back and getting the camera to refocus. Of course, he keeps a majority of the same details carried out through his jet mode, or pretty much all the same details carried out through his jet mode. Nothing going on inside of his legs. It's pretty much all exactly the same as what we just saw in jet mode. He has tiny, tiny little hands. So yeah, really, really cool looking figure. He has a lot of a backpack. I mean, it's the entire back of the plane, but it doesn't really interfere with the figure all that much, except for being a giant chunk and making him pretty back heavy. When you have him standing, you definitely want to make sure his heel spurs are out, or he will fall right backwards. He's got like these big wing shoulder pads, which I always really liked about him. I always thought that was a really cool look that he had. So I mean, that's a thing that he does. The gimmick does still work on his back, but it can't really go over his back at all. I don't know if there's supposed to be a way. I guess you could do that if you really wanted to. I don't remember if there's a way you can actually get that to go over his shoulders or not. I don't think you can, just because the hinges aren't there for it. But it's there. It's back there if you want to use it for something. The gimmick and everything still works, of course. Now, articulation-wise, the head is on a ball joint. You get a tiny bit of movement. He can look up a little bit. He can look down a little bit. His head, of course, does do a full 360. The arms can they're very limited just because of the backpack. But if you move that backpack out of the way and just kind of put it down there, the arms will do a full, not a full 360. They stop about right there for going forward or backward, and about right there for going up, which all of that just looks very unnatural, so you're really just supposed to kind of keep them angled like that. He does have a elbow swivel right here. He does have 90 degrees of bend there at the elbow, just a couple clicks from that joint, but you can really kind of cheat it to bend however much you want it to. He does have a very, I don't know if he has a wrist swivel or not. It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, the wrist is swiveling, but I don't think it's supposed to, because you can kind of see it separating the forearm there. Of course, the elbow swivel that I mentioned already. He does have a waist joint. It's a very tight waist joint, but due to transformation, he does have one. You can dislocate everything in the process. His legs can go forward about that far. They can go backwards about that far, but they have to go kicking out quite a bit to do that. He can kick really high up just due to the way that those joints work for transformation and whatnot. He does have a thigh swivel. He does have under 90 degrees of bend there at the knee. And he does have that joint. Very loud ratchet. Pretty much everything on this dude is just ratchet joints. Oh, I forgot. The arm can also go in and out on that hinge right there as well, due to transformation. And then you can flip his feet up. They also go down as well if you need them to. So same thing with the heels. The heels will do the exact same thing, because the front of his legs are the back of his legs. So, you know, they're exactly the same because of the way that the jet mode works. So you want to fold that back up. He can hold his gun using either of those two pegs, but usually the first one is the one that you want him to hold. He just plugs simply right there into his hand, and there you go. You can hold either one of his guns if you had both of them. You can hold them both. Or if you want to just keep them attached to the wings, they will attach right back there like so. So if you wanted him to have shoulder cannons, you could do that as well, which is probably what I would do if I had two of them, but since I don't, he is always holding one in his left hand. But guys, that's pretty much it for Jetfire. Let's bring in the rest of the size comparisons here. Let's get him standing and situated. There we go. So first up is my favorite Transformers Cybertron toy, Cybertron Minosaur, which is probably one of the most difficult toys to hunt down since ever. This guy was really hard to find. One, complete, and two, in decent condition. I was able to find him in both. He includes his minicon. He actually has his Cyber Planet key, and he looks good, feels good, everything works on him properly. So really happy to have this guy. Can't wait to show you guys him. Phenomenal figure. One of my absolute favorite Transformers of all time. So put him off to the side. Alternators, Shock Blast, so Shockwave. Also an amazing figure, an absolutely gorgeous figure. I love messing with this thing. This thing is fun to transform. I will review him because I feel like this guy hasn't had enough reviews. Ooh, excuse me. I feel like he hasn't had enough reviews on YouTube. So I'll review him and show everything and show the little tricks and stuff for getting his head transformed. But so yeah, so that's really cool figure I picked up not too long ago. For a really recent figure, here he is, Cyberverse Ultra Shockwave. I believe that's what this is called. just so you can see about how big he is there. This figure is also an amazing figure. He's very simplistic and he's lacking an elbow, but I mean, very, 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 very cool figure. I'll probably be reviewing him as well, just because Shockwave. You know, I gotta buy Shockwave. I was gonna pick up the Warrior one, but then I found out it didn't have any head articulation, so I passed on it. Because for me, a Transformer needs head articulation in order to be useful in any way. So I'd rather sacrifice an elbow for a head. So that works for me. And also, this one's bigger, so that's perfectly fine with me. And for another comparison, here he is with his leader. Oh! Don't fall over Optimus. He's not wanting to stand. Here he is with Optimus Prime, Cybertron Optimus Prime, which is my absolute favorite Optimus Prime figure and version of Optimus Prime, because this is the one that I grew up with. Cybertron Optimus, or specifically Galaxy Force Optimus, because I could not find an actual Cybertron Optimus that was complete, or complete enough for me to want him, and not in bad conditions. So, but this is good enough for me. I like this one just as much. But this will also be getting reviewed at some point in time. So let's get this heavy, heavy figure out of the way. And bringing in just another really cool toy. Here he is with the high-grade Psycho Gundam, 1/144th scale high-grade Psycho Gundam. This was probably one of the worst things I've ever had to build in my life. If I ever review him, I'll get to showing you why, but just so you can see how he is compared to this gargantuan toy, or model kit, really. It's not really a toy. But yeah, so this was pretty cool figure. Putting him off to the side. Another thing that was also pretty recent, here he is with Power of the Primes Optimus, just so you can see how he scales with a current leader class toy. And he's pretty short. He's roughly Voyager sized. I don't think I have any Voyager, or yeah, I don't really have any Voyager figures with me except for the Last Night Megatron. So we'll bring him in. Last Night Megatron. So you can see he's pretty much just a big Voyager. He's like right in between the body mass of a Voyager and a leader. In jet mode, he's definitely a leader. He's definitely a leader class in his jet mode. But so that is pretty much it for Jetfire. So of course, like I said in the beginning of the video, choose which one of the combiners you want to see reviewed. They will be segmented into different parts, and then of course a finale video for the actual combined mode. But yeah, so this was Jetfire, one of my all-time favorite toys as a kid, and I finally actually have one, and I am so happy to actually finally have this guy. I've been buying a lot of Transformers that I wanted a lot as a kid, and just a lot of just cool Transformers for absolutely no reason, which is exactly what this guy was for. I just like the way he looks, so. But yeah, guys, I am Shockwave640, so thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you later, my little Logicons. Peace!